Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here, once again with another video on Legends of Tomorrow Season 2. Now this is going to be my review for Episode 8 of Legends of Tomorrow Season 2, otherwise entitled The Chicago Way. Now just a heads up, obviously there's going to be spoilers throughout this video, so if you haven't actually watched the episode, you might want to go watch it, then come back to this video after you've done so. Now, if you did not know, this is actually the mid-season finale for Season 2 of Legends of Tomorrow, and you would expect them to set up a decent amount heading into the back half, and I was overall pretty satisfied with what they did. This episode, as you find out early on, was set in 1927 Chicago, and we get introduced to this when Damien Darhk and Eobard Thawne, or the Reverse Flash, offer their help to Al Capone of all people. This is where we get the introduction to the newest member of the Legion of Doom, the former Ra's al Ghul himself, Malcolm Merlyn. Ray and Nate broing out was pretty fun to watch as they tested out Ray's new Atom suit, and we had Sarah acting as like the older sister or the mother to them, which I thought was pretty damn funny as well. Now, one thing that the Legends really need to do is have like more in-detail briefings before going out on missions. Like that initial one at the beginning of the episode where they went to get Elliot Ness was just a disaster. They need to focus more on setting out a game plan, if you want to call it that. But I must say, thank God that Nate is like a historian. He definitely helps out a lot on missions, even if it's not like in a physical way, just on like a knowledge basis. The fact that he knows when certain things happened definitely helps. I know I say this almost every episode where they go to like a different time period, but I love the set design and the outfits that the Legends get to wear when they go to these different points in history. In regards to the dudes in this episode, it was just like a suit and a fedora for the most part, but Sarah got to wear some pretty cool stuff, and so did Amaya or Vixen. But I guess the big what the hell moment of this episode was when Captain Cold appears in front of Heatwave. Now obviously this was a hallucination of Heatwave's throughout the episode, but Captain Cold's appearing trying to set him straight and stop him being this like good guy. Now obviously this is a figment of Heatwave's imagination, but it's obviously something that he's struggling with, but Captain Cold is this physical representation of that. So obviously we saw the Legion of Doom rock up at the club that Sarah, Jax and Professor Stein were all undercover at, and it didn't really go to plan in regards to the Legends, and we have Sarah and Professor Stein kidnapped. Now due to this kidnapping, I just had to mention that so we can lead into this point here. Malcolm's proposition to Sarah would have been a very extremely tempting one for her to accept. You know, go back to before the Queen's Gambit was sunk, have a normal life the way that it was meant to be, if you want to call it that. And it is important to remember that this is a Malcolm following Season 4 of Arrow. You can tell by like the prosthetic hand that he has after Oliver cuts his hand off. Now we are meant to be seeing Malcolm in Arrow at some point. I don't know when. I think it really depends on what's going on in Legends. But yeah, I'm not too sure when he's going to pop up. John Barrowman, who plays Malcolm, said he's going to appear on Arrow at some point, but we just don't know when. And thanks to this kidnapping, we get Professor Stein finally confessing to someone other than Jax about his daughter that's been created due to him messing with his past self in the 80s. So at least someone else knows, and it isn't this awkward thing that Stein's trying to keep to himself. Now, one thing that really caught me by surprise was Martin Stein getting tortured, and I was like, okay, what is that little gizmo that Eobard Thawne had? And it didn't even like pop up into my head at all, and didn't even like register that Eobard Thawne was doing to Martin Stein what he did to Harrison Wells, but on like a lesser scale. He was doing it so he could like impersonate him for a short amount of time, I'm assuming. Because obviously, if you remember in Flash Season 1, Harrison Wells turns into like a rotting corpse, essentially, and then Eobard completely turns into Harrison Wells. So unless this is like an updated version of that, or just like a setting where Eobard can just change into someone's appearance for a short amount of time and do what he has to do. We got a couple of cool little action scenes when the Legion of Doom and some of Al Capone's mobsters storm the Wave Rider. We got that League of Assassin fight between Sarah and Malcolm, which was pretty sick. The stunt doubles were really obvious in most parts, but overall I thought that fight was pretty damn awesome. Now this whole thing was to get the amulet, but due to Martin Stein still being captive by like Al Capone and his men, the amulet has to be given up to get him back, which is obviously going to cause a bit of trouble going ahead, which we find out about like basically straight after, as the amulet like merges with another piece to form a compass, which will be used to locate the quote-unquote Spear of Destiny, and it can be used to like rewrite reality. Now the Legion of Doom needs to find Rip Hunter, who we get to see in this episode, which was insane. We see him in Los Angeles in 1967, not as like a time dude, but as a film director. What the hell is going on here? So this is obviously where Rip's most likely ended up, unless this is a version of Rip that was there at a different point of time. I don't know what the hell they're going to do, but it is a cliffhanger because we're guessing what the hell is going on with Rip and why is he a film director in the 1960s. But overall, this episode was a really decent mid-season finale. I do think Arrow had the best mid-season finale of them all. But this was a solid mid-season finale. It sets up the Legion of Doom more. We got Malcolm Merlyn introduced, which is interesting because he does have history with Sarah and stuff like that. And even though the Captain Cold stuff was just like a figment of Heatwave's imagination, he's coming back for real. Like, he's going to be a part of this Legion of Doom. I'm not sure what episode. He might pop up in like the last 4 or 5 episodes as a physical member of the Legion, but it is setting up that struggle that Mick's having with the memory of Captain Cold and how he's going to react to it when it becomes like an actual physical thing in front of him, which I think is really good storytelling, and it's going to be a good thing for Mick's character, or Heatwave's character, throughout the rest of this season. Obviously that storyline with Martin Stein's daughter isn't completely over. They'll still go over that in the rest of this season, but at least we got some development with that in this episode as well. But thanks for watching, guys. Leave your opinions in the comment section below. Did you enjoy this episode? What was your favorite part? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like on it. And if you are new around here, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys, and goodbye.